This is Izzy Dakota Jones here for March 2019 for the podcast The Art of Doing. We're here with Javier Badillo. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It sounds Italian, and he's not Italian, but he'll correct me on it in a few minutes here. He's a musician, a film director born in Caracas, Venezuela, who immigrated to Canada in 2002. Javier worked as an animator for TV cartoons in Vancouver before advancing into independent film. He also is a musician himself and songwrites and plays in a punk rock band called Caracas. So I welcome to our podcast, Javier. This is Izzy Dakota Jones, and I'm here with the Art of Doing podcast. I'm here with Javier. Javier, how do you say your last name?
Badillo.
Badillo. Ah, there it is. So you're an independent filmmaker and also a musician yourself, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so you came from Caracas, Venezuela.
That's right. Caracas.
Yeah, and you immigrated here about 2002, right?
That's right, 2002, yeah.
And you started in animation first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Vancouver. And then you eventually went into film and directing and producing your own films, right? Yes. So your first one of the ones I've got here is the comedy one, right? You did, right? Which the comedy one that you did, which was called Fatal Rhapsody.
Fatal Rhapsody, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So tell me all about that. How that got started, and how did you start in comedy, which is they say is very hard,
it's
right?
Very hard. Yeah.
So
I mean, I've done a bit of both, of dramas and comedies, right?
Yeah.
And then they're both fun to do. They're both challenging, right? But yeah, comedy is the one that's hardest to to show another country, and they'll laugh at your jokes because a lot of our jokes here just fall flat elsewhere. You know?
Right.
Yeah, but drama seems to travel better, but just because everybody's got the same problems everywhere in the world. I mean, when it comes to human problems, your family problems, that kind of stuff, that travels well.
Right on.
But Fatal Rhapsody is a short comedy about this pizza guy that gets kidnapped by this thug, right?
Okay.
Or he's delivering pizza and he gets kidnapped because the thug can't drive stick, and so the pizza guy is the only one who knows how to drive the stick. And so by default you're gonna get in the car to drive the thug because the thug's escaping.
Right.
And as the pizza guy is begging this guy to let him go because he's gonna propose to his ex-girlfriend, hoping that will bring her back.
Right.
Bad idea. And the thug is thinking well, look, man, I'm on the run too from my own relationship, but it's his partner in crime that he's escaping from. So there's a parallel there between the thug escaping and the pizza guy trying to get back to the ex.
Wow.
So it becomes fun and it was good.
And now, how long did it take you to do that film?
It's about a year in total.
A year in process?
In total, yeah.
A year in
total. So, shooting is fast. Shooting 2 weekends, or 1 weekend and a half, and then you're done shooting.
And then you're doing with all the editing and everything else, right?
That's it. Then you spend a few months just cutting it, editing, and putting sound and color and music and
everything
else.
So that film actually got you going, to a lot of really cool places, right? I mean, wow. I'm looking at, Edmonton, Toronto, Cannes.
Man.
What was Cannes like?
Cannes is crazy, man. I mean, Cannes Film Festival is the ultimate place for filmmakers, right? You go out there and you meet up with other filmmakers, and you meet up with producers, you meet up with writers. Everyone's there, right?
Right.
From all over the world, right? So it's condensed, everyone in one room.
Wow.
You can't help not meeting, even if you're not the social type. You're still gonna be there. People are gonna talk to you. Hey, man, so what do you do? What's your movie like?
Yeah.
And then you can show it to others, right? Same as Edmonton. Edmonton Festival's been amazing. We went out there and then we showcased the movie. And then we also showed it at Harrogate, which is in the UK. We went all the way out to the UK and
and then New Brunswick.
New Brunswick as well. That's right.
Yeah. And then you won, and you also won an award too, right?
Yeah. A couple of awards for Fatal Rhapsody. Did well. Yeah. It was out there in Harrogate. We won Audience Choice award. The English people, the Brits, they loved our humor. For some reason, the West Coast humor, they just goes.
They got it.
They got it. Yeah.
They got it.
They got it. Up in Leeds, in Harrogate.
Okay.
Yeah. And also with the New Brunswick, they also gave us an award on commendation.
Yes, I see
great.
that.
Yeah. It had a really good response, and also got into the NSI, the National Screen Institute here in where is it in Winnipeg.
Okay.
They have an online thing, and they have a development for filmmakers. And he got selected to play there as well. Anyway, it's done really good. It's one of the short films that's performed really well from the ones.
Okay, how short was that?
It was 13 minutes, 14 minutes. That's it.
That's it. That's all. And you did. And look, look where you ended up. You ended up all over the damn map.
I know, man. It's awesome.
That's incredible, right? That's wild. All right. So, and then recently you shot another film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it was my first feature.
Your first feature.
Yeah, that's right.
Holy moly.
Yeah, man. That was like another level of difficulty and cost.
So you have to. So when you're doing the independent film thing, you're basically you're also having to watch all your costs overrun, everything, right?
Everything.
So that must be intense.
Yeah, you're pretty much looking after everything yourself, right? You start a project, you co-write it or you write it.
Yeah.
And you try to make it happen with whatever way you can.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
gotcha.
Make friends. They'll help you out.
Yeah.
Scratch your back. Scratch my back.
Yeah. Sort of thing. What I can get out of this. What are you going to get out of it?
Totally.
Right. And so what's the film all about?
The Roads of Etruria is the feature film.
Right.
And that is a drama, a war drama.
Okay.
And it is a Syrian soldier that wakes up in the desert with a concussion.
Right.
And he forgets what side of the war he's on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
He's in the middle of the war and he's like, I don't know who's who.
Who's who? Yeah. What side am I on?
What side am I on? So as he walks through the desert finding an outpost in this town called Etruria, he starts to remember his mother and his sister back before the war started.
Wow.
And he starts to remember, why the heck am I even here?
Yeah.
You know, why am I even stuck in here? I don't even want to be here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, man.
So how long did it take you to film that one?
We shot in.
Just died.
Oh yeah, let's start over.
Keep going.
Oh, good.
So how long did? That's okay. We're good like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how long?
That one took 4 months to shoot.
4 months to shoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
To raise money, to raise the money, to like write the script. The writing the script took about 3 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Just writing and developing, and then fundraising a year, 1 year of raising the money, and about 4 months of shooting, and we're now in post. So we're now editing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man. For the next 6 months, it's gonna be editing.
Wow. For a feature film.
For a feature film, man, it never ends.
So that's that's almost like 2 years of your whole life, right?
Man.
Basically, it's a big part of your whole life, right?
Huge part, man. Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So also, I know you also are a musician too, right?
Man.
Yeah. So you love playing music.
I love playing music, man.
Do you songwrite yourself?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
so kind of punkish.
Kind of punkish, Latin
punkish,
feel, Latin feel, punk rock. Some rock. And it's always it's the same as filmmaking in a way.
Yeah.
Just a lot smaller. Your band is only 2-3 other guys. Where in a movie you got a whole.
You got lots of people.
You got lots of people, but it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
You try to find a gig so
right.
that you can show your music.
Right.
Same with movies. You try to find a festival that plays your movies.
Yeah. So it's the same kind of trip.
Same kind of trip. Yeah.
So, but here you in your band, talk about travel. You've traveled again, right?
Yeah.
Like you've gone to Mexico.
Yeah.
You went to Malaysia. I know that.
Yeah.
I remember that. How was Malaysia?
Malaysia's amazing, man.
Yeah.
See, before I came to Canada, I was living in Malaysia.
Okay.
See, I'm from Venezuela, but I did high school in Malaysia.
Okay.
Long story.
Yeah,
I ended up playing punk rock in Malaysia.
Oh, cool.
Right? And then in Malaysia, we ended up touring, playing all over the place, and recorded an album in Malaysia. This is like 99, 2000, 2001.
Oh, wow.
Right? And then we released that album, and then I moved to Canada.
Oh, interesting.
To make animation and film here.
Right.
But you never stop playing music, right? You
right.
just gotta
always
keep going, right?
Keep
like
going,
it doesn't matter what happens, you're still playing.
Yeah.
So same thing, man. Like I came to Canada to make music and movies, but in Malaysia we had the punk rock thing going with another band called Lime.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah, I got that there.
Yeah.
That was interesting. So you did an album in Malaysia. You toured. Now, where did you tour? Just Malaysia, or did you? Because that's around all the South Pacific, right?
That's it.
So
Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia.
Yeah,
all those countries in that area that we sold our album, that we promoted our album.
Wow.
We got around to traveling a bit on Penang and Langkawi, the islands in that little area.
That must have been interesting.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Yeah. We didn't get to tour too far.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
It is expensive, right?
But the album did the work. We released in cassette tape.
Back then, yeah.
Back then, we got the cassette tape around. Everybody would just copy it, send it around. It was good. It was good times.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
man. And then we got back there in 2017.
You went
on
again.
A reunion.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was
I remember
crazy.
you told me about that.
Yeah, man.
So what was that like?
It was insane. It's like the same songs, right? That we hadn't played in 15 years. And okay, let's jam, right? Get back to these guys. Everyone's married and they got kids, right?
Yeah.
And okay, let's do this again. And I don't know if you've seen this sketch on TV on these guys that get the band together, and they were at the wedding of one of their bandmates, and they got this thrash punk band, and they just trash the stage, and the bride is all oh, he's so sweet, he's playing punk rock in my wedding. Anyway, so we had a little reunion thing. We played in a big great festival out there, and we had another mini tour all over Malaysia during that time. And that's it. And then we came back. My brother and I are both in the band, and Moise and Boy, who are in the other rest of the band, they're still there.
They're still there.
They're still there. Boy is, and Moise went back to the UK, and my brother and I.
Oh, so you guys are all over the place then?
Yeah,
all over the world.
Yeah, Moise is from the UK. Boy is from Malaysia. My brother and I are Venezuelan, but we're Canadian now.
So, when did you come? When did you leave? You did high school, so you left as a teen, right?
As a teen from Venezuela.
Yeah.
That was I don't know, the late 90s.
So were you into music over there?
Yeah, in Venezuela. Yeah. I played in bands in Venezuela as well.
Yeah. So what kind of bands? The same kind of bands?
Same
trendy, the Latin feel with the punk rock.
But in Venezuela, it was mostly I wasn't so much into the punk rock scene back then. It was early high school type of era in Venezuela, so it was mostly English, Brit pop, Brit rock, American pop rock. You didn't get a lot of punk rock influence.
I guess not. So it might, but was it? I know heavy metal was pretty big.
Yeah, metal's huge.
It's huge in South America.
Yeah,
period.
Man, Sepultura.
Yes.
Man, those bands are amazing, and the wave that they created was just.
Unreal, off the hook, right?
Yeah,
I watched a show the other night on bands, heavy metal bands, and South America was huge. They have malls, a mall.
Incredible!
With
it's just amazing stuff.
So all to do with metal.
Hey, Ange.
All to do with metal. Whether it's clothing, whether whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it's just amazing. It is just amazing.
That's wild. I know. I just, and then like you said, you were doing all the different kinds of pop and everything and influences.
Rock, English, American influences, British influences, but metal was a big part. And in Malaysia too. Malaysia punk and metal are huge. Massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
So you got all kinds of spectrums of different kinds of music there.
Yeah.
So now you're here in Canada.
Yeah, man.
And so you're getting this film done coming up.
Yeah, another stage.
Another stage.
Yeah, man.
So you're thinking, when's that going to be released, maybe?
That's the end of this year.
The end of this year?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah, and so by September, we're hoping to have a movie ready to show. We have a festival, we have an invitation to Edmonton.
Okay.
We're going to go to Edmonton again, where we showcased Fatal Rhapsody.
Right.
They invited us back and say, hey guys, you guys had Fatal Rhapsody. You guys want to also have your feature here. And we're like, amazing, yes please. We would love to have a Canadian premiere. In Edmonton, right?
Sure.
So we'll have it there.
And you were just in Toronto too.
Yeah, man. We were in Toronto with another short film called Coco Blue.
Okay.
Yeah. That one's different. That's a drama. downbeat, like hard, street kind of a movie about a sex worker and the pimp, and like how she wants to break out from that life by singing. She wants to be a blues singer.
Right.
And so she has to fight back against that pimp, and she gets inspiration by a neighbor an old man who plays the blues, inspires her to get out of that life. So it had to do with music as well, right? The whole thing about empowering yourself.
So at that Toronto, it must be damn cold.
Man, it was freezing. It was freezing, and
Friggin' hell.
And not only that. I mean, Toronto has it has an enormous African Canadian and African American community.
Yes. Yeah, Jamaica, a lot of Jamaicans.
Huge.
Yeah.
In fact, the lead actress and writer and co-producer on Coco Blue is a Jamaican immigrant.
Right.
Who I made friends with here in Vancouver.
Right on, yeah.
And so when we made the premiere, when we showcased the movie in Toronto, it was packed. It was like, the response was amazing, and like everybody was there asking questions, and like they were really interested in the story, and we had to exhibit with the other amazing African Canadian, African American movies, right?
Right.
And I mean, I'm not African American. I'm like Latino. I'm like Hispanic, right? So I had to explain, like, what does a Hispanic director have to do with directing an African Canadian, African American story? And of course, all these questions I have to answer them, and I say, well, look, I don't necessarily have to be African Canadian, but I have the music angle and about the whole thing about breaking free from the shackles of a bad situation. I mean, all these things you relate to, and that's how you make stories, right? You don't necessarily have to be the actor or be the lead actor on that thing.
So it's basically you've done. How many films have you directed, basically? That's something I didn't know.
At least a dozen. At least a dozen
Man,
short
you've
movies.
been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy, like over 12 years, like a short film every year for 12 years.
Wow. It's for 12 years. So have you been doing are they all done here, or have you done them?
All here.
All here. That's amazing.
All in Vancouver, man.
So all in Vancouver, you've done this short film.
Yeah, every year I fundraise and I shoot it.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's a lot of work, right?
It is, but I don't do it alone. I mean, it's a teamwork. So I always find writers.
Yeah.
I always find actors.
Yeah.
I always find producers. I always find people who are creative, who want to make things happen. And I'm like, I'm there with you. Together we're gonna make this happen.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
So we're just waiting now for this one. Do you got another one in the can you're thinking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, hey,
right?
obviously.
Yeah, why stop, right?
Why stop? You're addicted. That's what's going on with Javier, folks. He's addicted to filmmaking.
It's true, man. It's crazy, but it's fun. It's awesome. And another one is called Punk Noir, the one that's coming. Another feature. And it's about this chick who is like a reporter, and she's in Vancouver, and her ex, who is a punk rocker, gets stabbed and killed in front of a punk rock club.
Okay.
Right? And so she starts asking around, and the cops said like, it's just some petty drug crime. And she's like, no, he was like straight edge. Like, he was not into drugs at all. And so she starts asking questions and goes down the rabbit hole, man. She starts asking too many questions.
And going too far.
And realizes that gentrification, real estate ploy, getting into this messy dark plot in the city.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're already into that one, and you haven't finished this one yet.
I haven't finished this one yet. This one's editing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you gotta keep going, dude.
You gotta keep busy.
You gotta keep busy.
It's like going, holy shit! You're just going along.
Yeah, no.
That's amazing. I thought I had to ask you that because I went, I bet he's just going on and on. He hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah, you gotta have to.
And you also recently recorded too with your band again too,
right?
Yes,
we had a single. Lucky for us that we got invited to have a single as part of a compilation called the West Coast, the Pacific Sound System.
Okay.
Put together by the ska band Brass Action. They're a local band. And so they invited us in the past, and now we're invited again, and that was a great motivation, man, because sometimes you just need that deadline.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to tell someone you got until December to put up a new song, and it's like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, let's get down to it.
And then you get the fire burning, you gotta do it. And so that's how this got done. We got one song based on the Venezuelan problems we're having right now, right?
Yeah.
And so this whole song is about the family having to separate, because that's what happened to me. I'm like, I can't go back, you know, and
Yes.
all my family is down there, right? And so I have to send them a little bit of cash here when I can, and I have to support them as I can. But they're stuck out there, you know. And so we wrote a song.
I know. Are they in? And they're in Caracas.
They're in Caracas too. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's tough right now down there.
Dude,
I've been watching it.
It's insane.
So you kind of wonder if it's either going to sort itself out, or else it's going to end up where you're going to have intervention
war,
from the Americans
a
too,
crazy Syria situation again. We don't want that, especially in Venezuela. That's always been, you know, a prosperous, positive country. You know, It had its downsides and everything, but I mean, holy shit, it doesn't have to come down to that. So anyway, it's been like this for a long time, you know. It's not a new problem, but now it's coming to a point.
It's coming to a head.
It's coming to a head, exactly.
Yeah.
So now
that might be a film for you.
That's it, man. That's the next one. That's right.
I got that feeling.
Yes, man.
How can I make a film about all these people I know? And it'd be a huge Venezuelan hit, right?
It's true.
They'll love it in Venezuela, right?
And we wondering, like, what the hell is this movie from Canada doing about what? What's the link?
What's the link? I know. Unreal. And there must be like I noticed too in all that, a lot of people from Venezuela also, when you say you have to leave, a lot of people are in the U.S. too, like Florida, right?
Yeah. Miami's
like, huge.
It's little Venezuela right there. Yeah. It's insane.
That's unreal.
I went to visit there a few family members a few years ago, and there is this neighborhood called El Doral, which is now called El Doralzuela, because pretty much everyone there is from Venezuela.
That's what I hear.
It's like people just get out of the terrible situation, economical and social in Venezuela, but anywhere is better than Venezuela.
Well, yeah, and then there's people people are going to Colombia.
Yes.
And going to Brazil,
and
right?
Brazil, that's right, all the borders.
All the borders, right? Because it's a little... It's probably those countries are not as having any. Well, they're having issues, but not like that.
Not like that.
Not like that.
Anywhere is better than Venezuela right now. It's insane. Yeah.
Also, we're talking here on stuff. I was going to say to you. Bottom line to all this is I'm just kind of amazed at since I known you, but I read your bio and I'm just going like. Man, you've been all over the world almost, right? Just doing film and singing and playing. So Vancouver's like just your home base now, right?
It is, man. This is incredible, man. This city is expensive, yes.
It's very expensive.
But you find ways, man. I mean, especially if you're an artist, you find a way to survive somehow, one way or another.
And then also talking about traveling too. Yeah. What I'm leading into here, you were also in. You went down to LA and visited my friend Jay.
Yes,
right?
That's right, Jay Dumeta, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome, man, for sure.
And then you guys went to the Grammys.
Yeah, we did, man. We went to the Grammys. We had a great time. We watched all these 70s. They were awarding Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Oh, okay.
And so Linda Ronstadt and was it Linda? Linda, I think that's her name. And all these great 70s.
Grace Slick, I think. Jefferson Airplane, you said.
Jefferson Airplane, playing all these huge hits.
Right.
With the remainder of the band, really. Like,
Who's
half
left?
The band, who's left in the band,
half the band's
right?
gone, yeah.
But it was surreal to see them live when.
Well, it must have been neat sitting sitting there with in the theater,
right?
What
theater? The Kodak Theater?
It's Kodak Theater, yeah.
It's insane. That place is just crazy. And anyway, it was quite an experience. With Jay too, and Jay is an encyclopedia of music.
He knows a lot of stuff.
He is incredible. Yeah,
he knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so he does one. He does in August. He does a festival as well.
Yeah, we just talked about it. He does IES.
The IES, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We were there last summer with my band, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. You learn a lot, and there's a lot in film too. And there's people in film. There's people in TV.
Yeah.
And it's not just music. It's all of it.
All entertainment.
All in entertainment, because Los Angeles is a big part of that, right? Yeah. So you must know a lot of people that come up from LA to do filming up here.
Movies here, man.
Yeah.
And it's different because or it's depending on your situation. If you want to make independent movies, low budget type of deal, then you come and do them here. But if you want to do zero budget stuff in LA, it's harder because people know the price of things and prices are high.
Yeah.
If you got no money in LA, it's very hard to make it because everything costs a lot of money, and for you to find the money to make it is harder than if you were in a place like Vancouver or Edmonton or Toronto, where you can find other independent filmmakers and you make it happen with the resources you have.
Did you find any independent filmmakers in LA when you were down? Did you see any at all?
Yeah. You throw a stone and it'll land on one.
Yeah, because
they're everywhere.
They're
everywhere, man. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it's great. But it's a different ball game down there, right?
Yeah,
You're now talking about you're making films for a studio, or you're making films based on private equity and a different kind of financing. In Canada, we deal with government financing, telefilm, provincial money, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So basically up here, which Jay would say, he says this about the airplay up here. There's a certain amount. The Canadians support the arts, right?
Yes.
Not a lot, but
there is
it's more than in the U.S. where it's more independent.
That's it.
You got to have your own kind of budget.
Totally. What that forces Americans is to be more business minded, which is something we're a little lacking here.
Okay.
In the sense of having that business sense on knowing what people want, what the demand of the market is, and cater to that in order to make a living as a business minded artist. Here, you don't necessarily have to be tied to that.
No.
In the sense that you can do whatever the heck you want to do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it sells or not.
Right.
And you can apply for grants and that kind of funding.
Yeah,
in the arts, in culture.
Yeah.
In the States, you can still do that, but now you gotta think a bit more pragmatic and like, okay, what's I'm into hip hop, and what kind of hip hop is now, more popular, what is selling?
What is selling?
What is selling?
What is selling now?
You approach it with a different kind
So
of
when
thing,
you're
right?
doing your films, like when you get, I'm sure sometimes when you're doing your films, you're also looking at the music too, right? So
Totally.
Yeah. So what music will relate to the film, also relate to the people nowadays, right?
Absolutely, man. It's so huge. I mean, film is, it's like the amalgamation of all these art forms, right?
Right.
Like painting and music and like, and like acting and so many that they all just come together, and so music is a super important part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Roads of Ithria, your band was in the movie because it was perfect for that one scene where the immigrant from Syria arrives to Canada and arrives and figures out like, where the hell am I? There's this band playing like blues, rock, punk, and he's in a completely different environment where we juxtapose it with him in Syria, in a completely different environment, right?
A totally different environment.
Yeah.
That was really interesting to watch too. Like, it was interesting to watch it. Like that one actor you had, like he's in tons of Canadian films.
Yeah, that's right. Lachlan Monroe.
Tons of Canadian films.
And he's amazing. And he was also in Fatal Rhapsody, in my short film.
Oh, he was too.
He was in that film too.
Good.
And it's all, a lot of this is like people that through the grapevine.
Yeah,
you
it's
work
all about
with
that.
Films people, right?
It's that way with everybody, right?
Yeah. In large part, it is. And
Vancouver, Canada and the industry is not that big.
Right.
I don't think, right?
No, it's not.
It's not that big,
Not
really.
that big.
So you get to meet a lot of people through
Absolutely.
all these places like Toronto and New Brunswick and Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
So you get to meet a lot. So,
Yeah.
just before we close up here today, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Any film festivals that you've been here in your own city?
Yeah. I programmed the Vancouver Short Film Festival.
What
that means
wow.
is that I get to watch a lot of short films made in BC.
Yeah.
And I get the opportunity to schedule them in a festival every year.
Oh, that's very cool.
Called the Vancouver Short Film Festival.
Festival.
And if you have a short, you submit it, and there's
Right.
a team of adjudicators, judges, that they watch these films, and and then we end up programming them. So the production amount, the amount of movies made in Vancouver alone is massive.
I bet. Yeah,
And
on a
there's
huge scale.
Huge. There's a Crazy Eights.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of competitions, right? And that support the filmmakers. So it really is a matter for them to go out there and let themselves be seen and then wave their hands. Hey, I'm here. Let's make a movie.
Wow.
It is. The support is amazing, man, in this city. Yeah.
So I guess now we're just going to be waiting. Well, you got that single, is that single out as far as the music end of it goes?
It is out now, yeah.
Where can you get it?
Yeah, you can find it online on the Pacific sound system. That's what it's called. The pacificsoundsystem.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
And you'll see the compilation of 31 bands or 32 bands from the Pacific Northwest. So anyone in Seattle,
right, everybody,
all that area up until
Portland, all that, right?
31 bands, and
wow.
We're one of those bands.
Cool.
And so you'll see it online in the Pacific Sound System.
All right.
And the Caracas the Band website, caracastheband.com. You'll see all the music that we have had so far, and all the EPs and all that. Yeah.
And then at the end of this year, you'll have your new movie out, right?
That's right. By September, October, if everything goes well according to plan, smoothly, and then we'll have a movie by the end of this year, and we'll be able to go and find a festival. I know Edmonton will program it. If everything goes according to schedule. In September 26 is in Edmonton. Okay. And that'll be our premiere, and then we'll find other festivals. We'll have to submit to other festivals.
Yes, of course.
And see if they like it or not. Go either way.
They go either way, right?
Yeah.
And then you got another one backing up, coming out. You got
another one right after, right?
So you're a busy guy. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's been fun talking to you today.
Thanks, Joe. Likewise,
we would plug you again anytime you want, man, because
it's
really been good. And I'm really impressed with how much time you put into stuff. Myself, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, you're an artist, you're a musician. You know what this is like.
It takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work. Yeah. But thanks for the interview, man.
Yeah, and then we'll have to sit down, like we said, and do some videos, like we said too, because I hear you want to get into music videos too.
Man.
That would be cool. That would be cool. We'll go down that road. All right.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, man.
This is Izzy Dakota Jones with Javier, and this is the Other Doing podcast. Take care for March 2019. Izzy Dakota Jones here, finishing up with our podcast, The Art of Doing with Javier. By the way, March 15th, little plug for Saints and Sinners, one of my blues rock bands, will be playing in the Hood in East Van with The Upside, a great ska reggae band, and also Rock Voodoo, really cool, classic kind of original rock band. So if you're not doing nothing on the 15th, get your butt down and check us out in East Van at the Princeton Pub. 3 bands, drink party all night on March 15th, lining you up to the March 17th for St. Paddy's. Might as well get a good start in, you think? All right, Izzy Dakota Jones with The Art of Doing. This was for March 2019, and my guest today was Javier, and we were in the Hood sitting outside in the sunshine. Thank you very much. Take care. See you soon. Hey, this is Izzy Dakota Jones, and we're going to leave you with a song from Javier and his band Caracas. I don't speak Spanish, and it's a long name, so I'm going to spell this out. This is going to take half the show. ELULTIMOLDIADE. These are all separate words. LAISAMILIA. The last word, BUENDIA. So that's the song. You get to hear this song from Caracas, and we'd like to thank you. Check us out again on our podcast come April. We'll have another guest for you. Take care.
Lejos de la violencia normal, pensando cómo salir, cómo escapar su prisión de temor, como arepa sabor a rencor. Lejos de acá, donde no vende tu dignidad. Hey. fue su más triste ilusión. Sin pensar, pluma, sangre, camino y bondad. Y sin pensar, balas, llanto por su libertad. Te volveré a ver. Ay, papá, algún día te volveré a ver. Ay, ay, familia, algún día los volveré a ver. Lai, lai, la, lai, lai. No pierdan esperanza en el bien.